Love, once an unshakable foundation, crumbled beneath the weight of deception. My name is Daniel Carter, and for 10 years, I believed in the sanctity of my marriage. Claire, my wife, wasn't just my partner, she was my world. Every smile, every touch, every whispered promise felt genuine. Now, standing at the precipice of betrayal, I realized how blind I had been. My job demanded long hours, constant travel, and unwavering dedication. Late nights at the office became routine, and while I missed Claire terribly, she reassured me with soft words and lingering kisses. "I understand," she'd whisper, stroking my face. "You're building our future." I clung to those words, believing her heart remained mine. That illusion shattered on an ordinary Thursday evening. A rare break in my schedule allowed me to leave work early. Excitement bubbled in my chest as I envisioned surprising Claire with dinner, maybe a weekend getaway. I picked up her favorite wine, eager to spend time together. Unlocking the front door, an unsettling quiet greeted me. Normally, Claire would be humming in the kitchen, candles flickering, the aroma of dinner filling the air. But tonight, silence hung thick, oppressive. "Claire." My voice echoed through the hallway. No response. I stepped inside, setting the wine on the counter. Something felt off. The living room remained pristine, yet a faint scent, cologne, unfamiliar and strong, lingered in the air. My pulse quickened. Moving toward our bedroom, I noticed a pair of men's shoes by the door. Not mine. A chill crept up my spine. Hand tightening into a fist, I reached for the doorknob. Locked. My stomach knotted. Claire never locked the bedroom. Knocking, I forced my voice to remain steady. "Claire." Shuffling. A hushed curse. The creak of a mattress. Seconds stretched, agonizing. Then, the lock clicked. Claire appeared, clad in a silk robe, hair tousled, lips slightly swollen. Shock flashed across her face before she masked it with forced composure. "You're home early," she murmured. Dread twisted in my gut. My eyes flickered past her, scanning the dimly lit room. A shadow shifted near the window. A figure, male, shirtless, muscles tense, stood frozen in place. My world collapsed. Rage surged, searing through my veins. Claire stepped forward, blocking my view. "Daniel, let me explain." I clenched my jaw, every muscle in my body screaming for control. "Who the hell is he?" The stranger, eyes wide with panic, grabbed his shirt. I didn't know she was married," he stammered. "Lies." Claire's fingers dug into my arm. "Please, just listen." I yanked away, eyes locked onto the man who had invaded my home, my life. He dared to stand there, half-naked, in my bedroom? Fury darkened my vision, but I refused to lose control. Violence wouldn't erase the betrayal, wouldn't heal the gaping wound in my chest. Gritting my teeth, I forced out a single command. "Get out." The man hesitated, glancing at Claire as if she held the power. My voice dropped, lethal. "Now." He bolted, practically stumbling as he fled. The front door slammed behind him, leaving only the sound of Claire's ragged breath. Tears welled in her eyes. "Daniel, I held up a hand, cutting her off. "Don't." The woman I loved, trusted, devoted years of my life to, stood before me, a stranger draped in deceit. And for the first time, I saw her for what she truly was. "You said." Pain throbbed in my chest, a hollow, gnawing ache that refused to fade. Claire stood before me, eyes glistening with unshed tears, lips trembling with the weight of excuses she hadn't yet spoken. My wife, my partner, my supposed soulmate, had just watched her lover flee from our bedroom. A suffocating silence stretched between us. She took a hesitant step forward, fingers reaching for me. "Daniel, please, just listen." I recoiled, disgust twisting in my stomach. "Listen." A bitter laugh escaped me. "To what?" "More lies." Her face crumpled. "It's not like that." "Not like that." I shot back, my voice sharp enough to cut. "Claire, I just caught you in bed with another man. Explain to me how that's not exactly what it looks like." Tears spilled down her cheeks. I never wanted to hurt you. I clenched my fists, nails digging into my palms. You didn't hurt me, Claire. You destroyed me. She sobbed, crumbling onto the bed, the same bed she had just shared with someone else. My stomach twisted at the thought. I couldn't stand to be in this room anymore. The scent of his cologne still clung to the air, a taunting reminder of my humiliation. I turned toward the door. Wait! Claire's voice cracked. Just let me explain. Every muscle in my body screamed at me to leave. But against my better judgment, I stopped. Maybe I needed to hear it, needed to understand how the woman I had loved for 10 years could betray me so easily. How long? I demanded. Claire paled. What? My jaw tightened. How long have you been sleeping with him? She swallowed hard, fingers twisting in the silk of her robe. A few months. My breath caught. Months. Not a drunken mistake, not a fleeting moment of weakness. This was an affair. A deliberate, conscious betrayal. Nausea churned in my gut. So every time I kissed you, every time I told you I loved you, you were lying to me? She shook her head violently. No. I still love you. I scoffed. You don't cheat on people you love, Claire. Her sobs deepened. I was lonely, she admitted, voice barely above a whisper. You were always working late, always busy. I felt neglected. I let out a humorless laugh. So your solution was to spread your legs for someone else? Claire flinched as if I had struck her. It wasn't like that. Oh. My voice was deadly calm. Then explain it to me. Because from where I'm standing, it looks exactly like that. She buried her face in her hands, shaking with sobs. But I felt nothing. No sympathy, no sadness. Just a searing emptiness where my love for her used to be. Finally, I turned away. I'm done. Claire's head snapped up. What? I strode toward the door. I'm done, Claire. With you, with this marriage, with whatever pathetic excuses you're trying to feed me. She scrambled off the bed, running toward me. No, please. Don't do this. I wrenched the door open. You already did. Her cries followed me as I walked out of that bedroom, out of our home, out of the life we had built together. But I didn't look back. Claire made her choice. Now it was my turn. And I was going to make damn sure her lover paid for it. Walking away from Claire didn't ease the fury boiling inside me. The betrayal wasn't just about her infidelity, it was the months of deception, the stolen moments, the whispered lies. And the man she had welcomed into our bed had walked away unscathed. That didn't sit right with me. I needed a name. Claire had made one mistake. Her lover hadn't been some nameless fling. I had seen his face, his panicked expression burned into my memory. And I knew exactly how to find him. Pulling out my phone, I opened a private investigator contact I had saved for business security reasons. This time, it was personal. Within hours, I had his name, Tyler Hayes, 32 years old, personal trainer at an upscale gym downtown, divorced, no kids, regularly worked with wealthy female clients, many of whom, as I learned, were married. He made a habit of this. Rage simmered beneath my skin. He thought he could ruin marriages without consequence? That he could slink into people's lives, take what he wanted, and leave destruction in his wake? Not this time. A calculated approach. The next morning, I visited the gym, keeping my expression neutral. I didn't want to draw attention. Instead, I observed, watching as Tyler charmed his clients, smirking, winking, brushing hands against theirs as they giggled like schoolgirls. Disgust coiled in my stomach. How many homes had this man wrecked? Eventually, he finished a session and walked toward the locker room. That was my moment. I followed him in, my footsteps silent against the tiled floor. He was alone, wiping sweat from his neck, checking himself in the mirror. Tyler, I called, my voice calm. He turned, confusion flickering across his face. Then recognition set in. His body tensed. Listen, man, I didn't know she was married. I smiled coldly. Try again. He swallowed, backing up slightly. Look, Claire never mentioned you, okay? She acted like. I stepped closer, cutting off his pathetic excuse. You make a living preying on married women, don't you? Tyler's face darkened. That's not. I grabbed his shirt, slamming him against the locker. His breath hitched, fear flashing in his eyes. You think you can sleep with another man's wife and walk away without consequences? My voice was low, controlled. I didn't mean for this to happen, he stammered. She came to me. I laughed, a bitter, humorless sound. Of course she did. And you were more than happy to oblige. He squirmed, trying to break free, but I held firm. I should ruin you, I murmured. Expose you. Let every man whose wife you've touched know exactly who you are. His face paled. Look, I'll stay away from her. I swear. Oh, you will, I agreed. But that's not enough. He swallowed hard. What do you want? A slow smirk curled my lips. You'll find out soon. I released him abruptly, stepping back as he gasped for air. He thought I was done. I wasn't. The perfect payback. Destroying Tyler's reputation wasn't enough. I wanted him to feel the humiliation I had felt, to watch his world crumble the way mine had. The gym had rules against staff engaging in relationships with clients. A little digging led me to several women who had been involved with him. Some were happy to talk. Others had stories of manipulation, of lies Tyler had spun. I sent everything, every text, every compromising detail, to the gym's corporate office. Within 24 hours, Tyler was fired. But I wasn't finished. I knew where he lived, knew he was renting an expensive penthouse far beyond what a personal trainer could afford. So, I tipped off his landlord about his sudden loss of income. Within days, eviction notices followed. Then came his social life. I made sure his favorite bars, his dating circles, even his old flames knew what kind of man he was. Word spread fast. His charm lost its effect when his reputation turned to poison. The final blow? A little meeting with his ex-wife. Turns out, Tyler had cheated on her too, left her with nothing. She was all too happy to sue for unpaid alimony. His world collapsed in a matter of weeks. One night, as I passed by a dingy bar on the outskirts of town, I spotted him. Slumped over a drink, eyes hollow, the confidence drained from his posture. Good. I stepped inside, making sure he saw me. His grip tightened around his glass, jaw clenching. I leaned in, voice barely above a whisper. Now you know how it feels. Then, I walked away, leaving him in the wreckage of his own making. You said. The weight of revenge should have felt satisfying. Watching Tyler's life unravel, seeing the fear in his eyes, the humiliation on his face, should have brought me peace. But as I walked away from that bar, all I felt was exhaustion. I had won. But at what cost? The aftermath. Claire had called me dozens of times, her messages shifting from desperate apologies to angry accusations. I ignored them all. She had made her choice the moment she invited Tyler into our bed. There was nothing left to say. One evening, after weeks of silence, I finally decided to meet her, not because I wanted to reconcile, but because I wanted closure. We sat across from each other in a quiet cafe. She looked tired, her usual glow replaced by a hollow sadness. You got him fired, she murmured, stirring her coffee without drinking it. I leaned back, watching her carefully. He deserved worse. She sighed. I know I messed up, Daniel. But what you did, that wasn't just about me. You wanted to destroy him. I didn't deny it. He makes a habit of ruining marriages. I just made sure he got what was coming. Her gaze dropped to the table. And now, I exhaled slowly. Now I move on. Claire's eyes flickered with something. Regret, pain, maybe even hope. Can't we try again? She whispered. I studied her, remembering the love we once had, the years we spent building a life together. But trust? That was shattered. No, I said firmly. We can't. Tears welled in her eyes, but I stood up before she could say more. Goodbye, Claire. I walked out, feeling lighter with every step. Starting over. It took months to rebuild myself. The betrayal had broken me, but in the wreckage, I found something unexpected: freedom. I traveled. I picked up hobbies I had long abandoned. I surrounded myself with people who truly cared. And then, one evening, in a bookstore tucked away in the city, I met her. Sophia. She was nothing like Claire. She was genuine, kind, and warm in a way that felt effortless. We talked for hours that first night, and for the first time in a long while, I laughed. She didn't know my past. She didn't see me as a man scorned, as someone broken. She simply saw me. And maybe, just maybe, I was ready to be seen again. The final thought. Revenge had been my fuel, but in the end, it wasn't what healed me. Walking away was. Leaving the pain behind. Choosing something better. Because love built on lies and betrayal was never love at all.